I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
My mom and dad are gonna be...
I see dead people.
Hello. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Killer Cuties podcast.
And I'm here too.
I'll get it all over with.
Yeah, I like it. Really just push it out.
Yeah, get
Keep
in
it
there.
rolling.
Yeah.
Time is money, baby.
Time is money. I have a lot to say today. So much to say.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're reviewing 2 movies.
We are.
And no news.
No news.
Which secretly is a big relief for me.
Yeah. We don't, no one's forcing us to do news, Katie.
Yeah.
We can never do it again if you'd like.
No, we should. We should.
We can just yap for 10 minutes before we start.
Yeah, which is what we're going to do today.
It is, yeah.
But we're going to yap about something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them.
Okay. So this past weekend, we went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Woo.
And we went to every single haunted house, including the Terror Tram.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to rank them. We're going to tell you guys which ones are the good ones, which ones weren't, as good.
Yep.
And there's still time for you to go.
Plenty. Plenty.
Plenty.
Month and a half.
There you go.
Okay, well, I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
I have a lot to say.
I believe it.
I ranked them from 8 to 1. I didn't include the tram.
Oh, okay. No tram.
I'll throw in the tram at the end. I'll throw in my
Yeah.
ranking of the tram at the end. It'll be from the heart because I didn't write it.
Okay.
But from 8th to 1st, with a little comment and a score out of 5.
Oh, I did not score mine.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, we didn't talk about this much.
We didn't. You
That's
just
all right.
said, rank. And I said, yeah, let's fucking go for it.
Okay, well, I'll start.
Okay.
In last place, I have Death Valley Dead Exposure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Okay.
even remember that one. It was not
Fair.
super unique. No memorable scares.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the maze with the cold room, inexplicably.
Yes, this had a cold room, even though another house was named Frozen Grounds.
And this one is named Death Valley, which is known to be the hottest place on Earth.
Heat. Yeah. It was a little confusing temperature-wise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 1.5 out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 7,
Yes.
Monstrous 2, Latin America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Another one that didn't have a lot of memorable moments, which is disappointing
Yeah.
because there's a lot of source material and culture they could have tapped into,
Oh.
and it just kind of fell flat. I did, however, enjoy the scents. They had a cinnamony, clovey room. It was good.
Okay.
Number 6, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Okay.
It was fun. It was just a fun little house, I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan.
Yeah.
But the actor on stilts towards the end was so cool. That was so fun.
Yeah.
And I would have rated this a lot higher had there been cold rooms. Obviously, they can do it. We found out after the fact.
Yeah, at first I was like, well, it's LA, it's the summer, maybe they couldn't. No, they could. They chose not to.
That's
was a choice.
mind-boggling. It's called Frozen Empire. I give it a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
No, sorry. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. Monsters got a 2 out of 5.
Got it.
2.5 for Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Universal Monsters, the Van Helsing one.
Yep.
I
Bloodlines.
had just watched Van Helsing. That was the maze where I got attached to the characters the
Mm-hmm.
most. The characters were the most compelling for me.
Got it. Okay.
And there was one scene that I was genuinely shocked by. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh my God. So it was memorable.
Interesting.
2.5. In 4th place, Insidious.
Okay.
This was the second scariest for me. It was also our first maze of the night.
Yeah.
There's one scene where there was like a scare actor on the other side of like a fake wall kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That really got me.
Yeah, that was good.
And there was also a vomit scene that smelled. Oh my God, why would they do that?
For immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
In third place, A Quiet Place.
Yep.
Yep. Not scary at all because I was too busy being blown away by the animatronics.
They looked good.
Yeah, they looked very good. Getting to see the aliens from the movie live in person was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I should have prefaced that this has spoilers. My review has spoilers if you haven't figured that out already. Sorry about that.
I think if they thought going into A Quiet Place maze that you wouldn't see the aliens, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyway, this maze had the best theming, the best production value by far. Like watching videos back, it's just really, really incredible what they were able to put together. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Number 2,
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which means my number 1 is fucking crazy. But I'll get back to that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was so fun. It was kind of scary, but not like really. I was scared of the chainsaws for sure.
Yeah.
That was too loud for me. And the hitchhiker and I kind of started dating in the middle of the maze.
He liked you.
Yeah, he kind of had to be there, but there was something really special about it.
Yeah. I chased him chasing you.
Yeah. He was
I was
just
like, wait, that's my friend.
here in my ear, and I was like, and I do love the original movie. We just watched that for the first time, like the day before.
Yeah, to get ready.
Yeah, and the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came to life. So anyway, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Which means that number 1,
Stupid.
fucking crazy, The Weekend Nightmare Trilogy. Holy shit. I mean, you said it best while we were there. Amazed that The Weekend themed has no business being as good as it was.
It really doesn't.
It was so scary. It was the most scared I've ever been in my life. And it was also the most maze-like of the mazes. We call them mazes.
That's
They're
fair.
not really mazes.
Yeah, they're like houses.
Yeah.
But that one you could run into a wall at some point, which one of our friends did. So
Yeah. And I sort of accidentally kind of pushed her into that wall because I was trying to get the fuck out of that room. So if it wasn't her that had run into it, it would have been me. But yeah, like the mirror room was fucking insane. The long legs of it all, very like on brand right now. People are like super hard for long legs. And the music, I fucking love The Weeknd's music.
Oh.
I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I love it.
Yeah.
How would you rank the Terror Tram since you didn't include it?
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the middle, like a 2.5. It felt a little slapped together. I liked that it was a lot of really good properties. Purge, Death Day, Megan.
Yeah.
But it felt slapped together. It's more effective when you're like going around a corner and there's Megan, and then you go around another corner and there's Megan. But you could see like 5 Megans at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just wasn't as effective, but it was fun. I also don't like that they spoiled it for us. Like as we're on the tram, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna drop you off."
Oh yeah, I was annoyed by that too because we had a friend who'd never been on it, so I was expecting that to be kind of that oh shit moment when you're on and all of a sudden the gates come up and you just have to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. I did 1 through 9 because I included the Terror Tram.
Okay.
At number 9, I'm sorry, I had Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines, the Van Helsing thing.
No.
I want to be clear, none of it was production value. Like, it's Universal. They have the money. They have the teams to do it. Everything looked great. That wasn't an issue for me. I feel like the quality was there. I feel like they were just focusing a lot on the story, which, like, in a scare house, I don't care about as much. Like, yeah. I also think it doesn't work as well when the scare actors that are in the house are the good guys, because that's who's supposed to be scaring you. And a lot of that was just like demon hunters that were like, careful, there's a witch over there. And we're like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
So that one just didn't, it was kind of disappointing for me. It wasn't really effective. I was just like, that looks cool, but okay, I'm ready for the next one.
I liked that there was a story.
I just don't, that's just not what I care about at a haunted house. I'm
That's fair, that's
sorry.
fair. Okay.
In a movie, yes. At a haunted house, don't give a shit.
Fair.
At number 8, I had Dead Exposure, Death Valley.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That was low. It also didn't help for me. It was fine, but like, it didn't help that the people in front of us, I was like at the front of our group, and then the group in front of us like wouldn't go. Like they kept stopping every time we were supposed to enter a new room, and so the scares were like off.
Yeah.
So I wasn't getting anything. I was just like walking through because they were too scared to go, and I'm like, can I go around you, or like what's happening here? So they kind of sullied that experience for me as well.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Our rankings were like kind of off. At number 7, I have A Quiet Place.
Oh no.
Yeah, again, I think it suffered from the same thing that Bloodlines did, where it's the family who are the scare actors, and then there's animatronics that are scaring you, and that is never going to be as effective, I think,
Yeah.
for me personally. It looked great, but like having people be like, shh, go this way, is not as scary as someone jumping out at you. It was fun to like do the whole game, like we all tried to be quiet while we were going through, and that made it a little bit more fun, which is why it's not lower on the list. But yeah, all in all, looked great, not that scary.
Yeah.
At number 6, I have The Terror Tram. Enter the Blumhouse. Yeah, usually The Terror Tram's like one of my favorite parts, and this time they told us we were going to get dropped off, which again, for someone in our group, that kind of spoiled it. And then B, there were a couple traffic jams, so we were just kind of sitting there while they played the trailer for Speak No Evil at me, which I've seen 1.5 million times, and I didn't want to see it anymore. And then when we got there, they started the thing before everybody was off, so we didn't even get to see the whole the entry show. Like Megan has a whole speech, and then they all run at you, and by the time we got there, they were already like just there.
Oh.
Yeah, so we missed that. They didn't wait for everybody to get off and then do it, which I did not like at all.
I didn't know that. I didn't know we missed something.
Yeah. And also some of it just didn't, like, they all had chainsaws, which, like, that doesn't fit the characters, really. Like, I don't know why the grabber from the Black Phone has a chainsaw. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Anyways. And then also, I get, like, they have to film stuff in the backlots a lot, so they were probably using those sets, but usually it's longer. Usually we get to walk through the Nope set as well, or whatever's there at that time. Now it's the Nope set. And so that kind of sucked too, is like, it was shorter, it got cut short, but
yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah.
At number 5, I have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Again, kind of surprised me. I remember like 3 years ago I went, probably longer than that, probably like 4 or 5 years ago I went, and we waited in line for like 1.5 hours because we didn't have the fast passes, and did Ghostbusters at the end of the night, and it was trash. It was so bad. I was so mad that I waited that long. So this was much better than that experience, and I'm glad. Again, the person with the stilts at the end kind of upped it a little bit for me. I liked that.
Totally.
At number 4, I have The Nightmares of Latin America. Okay. I liked it. I thought it looked cool. I liked seeing all the different like cultural monsters throughout it. I thought it was neat. Thought it looked really well. I don't know. At number 3, I have The Weeknd. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000,000 times. That has no business being there, and it has no business being good. They've got to stop. Universal has access to how many fucking licenses, and they just choose The Weeknd?
Well, to be fair, it seems like they do like a musical artist.
Don't play with me,
regularly.
bitch.
Oh my God.
There was a musical artist last year when we went.
No, there wasn't last year, but
Yeah.
Alice Cooper.
When was that?
I don't know. Ozzy Osbourne.
Are you saying that this has happened there?
Yeah.
Well, they have to stop. I'm going to call someone. Number 2. I have Insidious The Further. I didn't even really like Insidious, but I thought the maze was really well done. And it was the first one we went to, which I think always kind of... I feel like the first one's always a little bit more scary than the rest because it's your first one. So it's like, all that giddiness kind of comes out. So,
Mhm.
and then number one, of course, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I love Bubba and Bubba loves me. And yeah, I loved that one. I think like set wise, that one was kind of the coolest too for me because it was
Yeah.
very Texas Chainsaw. Like it felt like you were in their house with like
Mhm.
they had bodies hanging and stuff, and I was like, ooh, I don't like that. And they had smells in that one too, which was. But sometimes it adds to it a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bones and the
bones.
doorways and
Yeah, I liked it.
yeah, that one felt like being in the movie. It really did.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, we weren't
All
too
right.
far off.
No, we had a couple that were kind of swapped, but
Yeah.
so I guess we didn't really help people at all. I guess you can make your own decisions. 'Cause
Yeah, well, I think we just ranked them on different things. I ranked them on a
Mm.
good blend between scariness and production value, and you just said fuck
Yeah.
production value.
No, I just think they all have pretty good production value.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I walked through any of the houses and was like, this looks like shit.
See, that was me for the Latin America one. The animatronics in that one were just not good.
No, I liked the like wolf thing. Maybe it was a Wendigo. I liked that.
Well, there you have it.
There you go.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, let us know your rankings.
Support all the scare actors.
Yeah. Be nice
What?
to them. Don't be weird.
Oh yeah, don't be weird. Who would be weird to the scare actors?
People.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I hate people.
Who doesn't?
People. All right, well, are we ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, we're here to talk about Speak No Evil. Both versions.
Both.
Little summary. In the 2022 version of Speak No Evil, directed by Christian Tavdrup, a Danish couple and their daughter become fast friends with a Dutch couple and their son while on holiday. As their friendship progresses, the Danish family quickly begins to realize that the Dutch family is not all that they seem. And then horror shit happens.
It
In
does.
the 2024 version, directed by James Watkins and starring Mr. Tumnus from the Chronicles of Narnia,
The one and
the
only.
families are American and British, and less horror shit happens. The original made just over
Yes.
$600,000 on a $3 million budget, so it didn't make back what it paid. It has a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb and an 84% critics and 56% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The new version, however, has made over $21 million since its release last week against a $15 million budget,
Yeah.
and has a 7.2 on IMDb and an 83% critics and 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I know how you feel about these movies.
Yeah. I wasn't really shy about expressing my opinions. But a lot of people disagree with me, so maybe you're one of them. I don't know.
I will have to find out in the next
Oh my
40 minutes or
gosh.
so.
I'm so excited.
Well, where should we start?
That's a good question.
I'll start.
Okay, thank you. Because I don't know if I can't keep my feelings inside until 40 minutes from now. So
Yeah. Well, let me express some of your feelings for you because I think I know
Okay.
exactly what your problem is.
yeah,
Your problem is that you saw the original first and then saw the Mr. Tumnus version.
yeah,
I totally understand why that would be a problem for people. I, on the other hand, watched the first half. This is what I recommend for everyone. I watched the first half of the original,
Mhm.
stopped, and then 6 months later watched the remake, and then the same day, immediately following, watched the full original from the beginning.
Okay.
And that, I can imagine, is a much better experience than what you did.
Yeah, I feel like watching the remake before you watch the original is gonna. Although I don't know, because there's people who have watched both and still liked the remake better. Since you already know, I'm just gonna tell the people. I think the remake's shit. I like the original. I'm one of those people. And they changed the entire ending, and that's why I didn't like it. So, yeah. I think that if you watch the remake first and it's just a movie that you're seeing, sure, fine. It's another Blumhouse film. But like, if you watch the original and you're like, oh, American adaptation starring Mr. Tumnus, even he can't save it. For me.
Yeah. You have to see the second one first.
You don't have to see the second one at all. You can just watch the first one.
If you're going to watch both of them, you have to see the second one first. And then you have to judge them independently of each other.
No, you don't.
I think you do.
No, you can judge them as exactly what they are, which is a film and a butchering of a film.
Well, you're comparing the second one to the first one.
Yeah, but you can't not do that when it's a remake.
I think you should, though.
You didn't feel that way when we did the remake of Jacob's Ladder.
That was even. So, yes, but if we do the same thing I'm saying right now, where you're judging them independently, the new version of Jacob's Ladder is still the shittiest movie we've ever watched.
It's not very good. No. But I do think we've felt worse about it because it's a remake. Because we liked the original.
Yeah, I guess.
I just think, like, don't make a remake if you don't want to compare to the original.
Yeah. I think the 20% of people who didn't like the remake are the people like you that watched the original first.
Yeah.
And then were disappointed by the remake.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly. When I heard that there was going to be a remake, I knew in my heart what they were going to do to it. Because that's what they always do to American remakes. They water it down. They do the same old predictable shit. They have to have a hero at the end. They have to have someone winning. They can't do the bleak ending. And that's the Americanized version because they think that Americans can't handle it. And so I wanted so badly to be proven wrong. I was like, no, we're going to prove them wrong. We're going to say that we don't like this shit. But no, everybody liked it. And so they were proven right. And that's what we're going to get for the rest of forever because people like watered down fucking versions of good ass movies.
Yeah. Well,
and then we're stuck with this shit.
How many times have we said, though, like we've looked up fun facts for a gazillion movies that have said, oh, the original script had a much bleaker ending, but test audiences hated it, so they redid it.
Yes, I want the bleak ending.
Yeah. I mean, for that reason alone, when I went into this, I was like, how could they possibly need a remake of this movie 2 years later? It's in English. It's not like they've translated it.
Almost entirely in English. There's no reason.
Yeah. But after having watched them both, and knowing what we know about test audiences, that they just don't like a bleak ending, I see why they remade it.
Yeah, because they knew that it was a money grab.
It's a money grab. Yep. But, I mean, in their defense, it's not just people going to see it and them making money off of it. It's people going to see it and they like it.
I know, that's why I'm angry about it. I'd be so much happier if everybody hated it and it still made money. That's fine.
Yeah.
What's even crazier, too, is that I won't say which one because we will watch it eventually, but the director, James Watkins, who did the remake, he wrote and directed a horror movie that has one of the bleakest endings I've ever seen. Like, probably top 5 in my list of movies that, like, you end it and you're like, oh, fuck.
Worse than The Mist? Not The Mist.
No, I mean, I think The Mist probably has, like, the bleakest. You can't really beat that.
Okay.
But, like, probably top 5. Somewhere in there. And he still did this. And you know what? You already know who I'm going to blame. Mr. Blum. I'm blaming Blumhouse because I can. Because this feels like a Blumhouse movie. Shit.
You know, I'm going to spoil the ending here a little bit, too. I did not hate it as much as you did.
Yeah, I know. I could feel it in my heart.
Yeah. I think you'll be surprised by my ratings, but I did not hate it as much as you.
It's going to make me not like you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just your average American consumer.
Not me. I'm better.
I mean, we should talk about, like, the first 2 acts of this are almost a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
There's not a lot different. Like, word for word.
Yeah. Same exact dialogue
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of the scenes.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, they un-Americanized the names from Patrick to Patty and from Ben to Bjorn. Like,
Well,
they
no,
Americanized everything else.
Bjorn
What?
is the guy's name in the original. Ben is the guy's name in the remake.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I messed that up.
Yeah.
Well, Kira, spelled
Mhm.
the Irish way, Ciara,
Yeah.
and what was her name in the
Karen.
Karen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but we should talk about what was different. There were a lot of things that were different, all in the last 15 minutes of the movie.
There was more that was different earlier too.
Not a lot.
I wrote it all down.
I did too.
All right, how should we do this?
I'll go first.
Okay.
The lying about being in the doctor scene.
Yes.
I don't know if it was more effective that he actually lied or if it was more effective that it was a joke. And I also don't know what I'm basing the effectiveness of.
Yeah. That change probably bothered me one of the least.
Okay.
But I think the reason they did it was because the remake was much more focused on being funny.
Yeah.
Like, there were way more jokes in the remake. The original is just bleak through and through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was just another way of them trying to make it hee hee ha ha. All laughs.
Yeah.
Okay, what I wrote down, each family has their own language in the original. In the remake, they just all speak English the entire time, but in the original, because they both speak different languages, there's moments where the family that is visiting, like, feels uncomfortable and they'll speak to each other in Danish because the other family can't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I liked that a lot in the original, that it kind of was them communicating their discomfort, but without them being able to understand it.
Yeah.
So it didn't need like lengthy explanations after the fact of how they don't like it. It just happened in the moment.
Mm-hmm. The like cheating and no job tension between the mom and dad in the remake was, again, I don't know what I mean by saying effective. I don't know that brought anything to the table by making them an unharmonious couple, unlike the original where they're just very much husband and wife.
Yeah, it seemed like an unnecessary change to me.
Yeah, it almost makes it seem like less compelling for them to get out together. Like, so what? They're just going to get out and they're going to be divorced. Like,
well, I don't know if they actually are going to divorce. I feel like that was just like something she said to him to like be honest so that they could get away. But like they weren't going to get away anyway, so.
Yeah. But they did. They did get away.
I know. The tongue thing, like first 5 minutes of the remake, they tell you that he has a condition, so that whole shock value is gone. In the original, it's just when when Bjorn's taking out the trash, Abel like shows him his tongue, and there's no indication whatsoever that is a thing until that moment. Mm-hmm. So that kind of ruined the surprise for me personally.
Yeah, and also the son, Abel / Aunt, mm-hmm. being the one to kind of reveal the big twist. Yeah. I liked that better.
I did not.
No? I
felt like it was almost like too explaining everything. Like he's like pointing at the pages and then she's like, oh, that's not your parents. And it's like, I don't know. I liked it much better when he just found everything. And I felt like, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter in the remake because they don't do the ending, but it made more sense in the ending that like the wife and the kid let them in the car because they don't know what happened. Like he's just panicked, like we got to get out of here because he just saw all of this shit. And then, I don't know.
Also, why wouldn't you tell them? That's the first thing.
I think he was just panicked. And also I feel like he probably didn't want to like upset his child. Because again, in the original, the kid has no indication that anything's wrong at all. And they also aged the kids up in the remake, which I thought was weird.
Not by much.
I mean, I guess. No, just a couple years, but it's still kind of, I don't know. Didn't feel necessary. But I guess since they're the ones figuring out the whole mystery.
the remake kind of established that the son can't swim
Yeah.
prior to the son not drowning.
He didn't drown.
Yeah, so I guess what was the point of establishing that he couldn't swim?
So
Oh,
that the
to get
dad
them
like
back.
freaked out when he
Yeah.
pushed him in the water.
Yeah. I almost wish that scene had been included in the original to kind of establish the like whole drowning
In the
thing.
original, I don't think that he was he was killed.
He was drowned, yeah.
But like it doesn't matter if he can swim or not.
Right, but
He was murdered.
they could have just showed.
Why?
I kind of wanted to see him die.
Oh, okay. That feels like a personal thing you should talk about in therapy.
Like it would have been it would have upped the scare factor quite a bit had
See, I feel like it's
The
just like
dad,
more
like,
intense
pushed
just
her.
walking in and seeing the kid dead
oh,
and being like, oh shit, like it's happening.
maybe.
But yeah, I don't feel like in the original it was necessary to show that he couldn't swim because it didn't matter if he could swim or not. He was killed.
Yeah. I guess.
He didn't drown by accident. And then I feel like in the original, if they had done that, it would have put doubt as to whether or not he killed him or not. Like, did he just drown or did he, you know?
Okay. I guess I just yearn for an explanation. A concrete explanation, not an inference.
It's weird because usually we're switched on that.
Yeah.
You love an inference most times.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Other things that were different. In the remake, it's implied that Kiara was his like first victim. And she was like groomed to be, she says it. What do you mean?
I missed that.
Yeah, she tells the mom that. She's like, I was his first. Please help me. Don't leave me in here with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the remake.
In the remake, yeah.
Sorry.
In the original, they're just both
Crazy.
stone cold murderers.
I think she was lying.
She could have been, but I feel like her dynamic with him from that moment on kind of played into that. Like him hitting her and being like, this is your fuck up. You have to fix it. Like very like language that you'll hear in an abusive relationship of like, it's all your fault. You need to fix this. You have to make it better. It's on you. Like
Yeah.
that kind of added to it. And also her age, like she was aged down in the movie. Like they were not the same age at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of this, like, I didn't like it. I liked the original better. But I feel like that just created unnecessary sympathy for her when there doesn't need to be any. She can just be an evil person.
Yeah. Restaurant man was an accomplice
Instead of the babysitter.
instead of the babysitter. Which
That didn't make any sense to
yeah,
me.
that didn't make sense to me at all.
The babysitter being a part of it made perfect sense.
Yes.
Mike from the restaurant didn't make much sense at all.
Yeah, like where did he even fucking come from? Why did he show up on the like why did he come there?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. I have this kind of all lumped together, but they like cut a lot of parts. So there's a scene in the original where Luis is in the shower and Patrick just comes into the bathroom and starts brushing his teeth while she's in there, and that's really uncomfortable. And then Bjorn and Luisa are having sex and Patrick's just watching them through the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patrick is naked in bed when Agnes is in bed with them, and that like adds to it. And I feel like all of those things just added to like the unnerving, creepy factor of like run.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of why was the remake PG-13? Like why? No, it was rated R. They could have had nudity. They just chose not to. Interesting.
Yeah, there was no nudity at all.
Mm-mm.
The only other thing I have is the end.
The entire ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The original was just bleak. I don't remember a more bleak ending other than The Mist. Correct me if I'm wrong. The killer 100% wins. And in the remake, it was almost too like what, that's it? Like it's over?
Yeah, they just kill all the bad guys and win.
And they, yeah. I mean, I will
Yeah.
say I did like the, like, redemption arc of the little boy. Not the redemption arc, the like what's the word I'm looking for?
Revenge. Yeah. Him
Revenge.
beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
I had one other change,
Okay.
which was that Ninus, the stuffed bunny, when they leave the first time, and she's like, it's not in the car, we have to come back. Like, they go all the way back to the house. And in the remake, they have Agnes goes in and Aunt had found it. So it was back at the house. In the original, it's in the car.
Yeah.
And they find it when they get back to the house. So again, I like that better because it's even more of a like, oh my God, you didn't even have to come back moment where like it just builds on that frustration that you're supposed to feel when watching it of like, don't go back for it. And then they go back and they didn't even have to. It's like, fuck.
Yep.
Oh, and then one thing they kept the same was the line, because you let us, which had zero impact in the second one because they didn't let them. So that was meaningless. So no need to keep that in. Because it doesn't fucking matter in the remake.
Yeah. I will say the original does do a better job making you kind of like the bad guy first.
Yeah, it's not like, I feel like James McAvoy was always evil. You could tell from the first moment. It was all very like hint, hint, nod, nod. The first one was much more subtle.
Yeah. James McAvoy, that guy fucking sucked from frame one of the fucking movie.
They were.
And I think like the worst part of it is that like everybody knows someone like that.
In the first half, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't
The
know
first
someone
two
like the second half.
I don't think anybody knows anybody that's a murderer.
Yeah, hopefully. I think there are people who know people who are murderers, but hopefully the large majority does not.
But that made more
Yeah.
sense to me too, that they would be like so drawn in by them that like it started with green flags and then beige flags and then yellow flags and then orange flags and then red flags.
In the
Whereas
original?
in the original, yeah,
Yeah.
that made a lot more sense to me. That like, oh, yeah,
Right.
we're gonna go visit them. But
Yeah.
in the remake, it's just like red flag after red flag. Like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
thinking? Why would you go see these people? They're fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It was very much the original builds, right?
Yeah.
Exactly how they like test the people that they bring back. It's they're intentionally pushing them and testing them to see how far they can get away with, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the whole point. Is they pick these people because they've tested them and they know that they can push them to that point. I guess that doesn't matter in the remake because they don't have to push they don't get to that point, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I guess they used the like cheating / no job thing to kind of like push them into going and visiting these people because like, oh, it's a change of scenery, it'll be good for us, we'll have fun. But
Yeah.
that just was nowhere near as effective as like actually liking these people, and then it's kind of slowly devolving over the course of the movie. And I say that as it being more effective, but that's also the thing that turned me off of the original at first.
Mm.
When I first watched the original, I couldn't get through it because it was like, oh my God. Yay, they're friends. Yay, they're going to visit. Like it just like nothing was happening.
The
So-
first one is very much a slow burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very hard. Like I think I looked at the time and it was like 35 minutes that I had watched before I just turned it off. I was like, oh my God, I can't finish this. Anyway.
Yeah.
I was really excited for the dad in the remake. No.
James McAvoy.
No. He's not the dad. He's the bad guy.
That's true. I guess he's not a dad.
I was really excited for yeah. In the James McAvoy version, in the new version, I was
Okay.
really excited for the dad to have like grown a pair by the end of the movie and be the one to kill Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah.
But the kid being the one to do it was so much better. That was chef's kiss. I loved that the kid got to kill him.
Yeah, that was good. I'm gonna say it. The dad in the remake, Scoot McNairy, I think is his name. Not a good actor.
What a silly name.
He has nothing to do with that. He didn't choose that name. I don't think. It could be a stage name that he
It could be a
chose.
stage
That'd be
name.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene where they're like back in the house and he breaks down. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I was like, this is the worst acting I've ever seen. I was in a theater with like 3 other people and they were all laughing. I was like, yeah,
Oh, no.
this is not good.
I mean, it was supposed to be funnier than the other one, than the original. Maybe he was
That's
acting
true.
really well. Maybe that was the point. He was trying to make me laugh.
If it was a comedy, then he nailed it. Yeah.
Which, step back. Speaking of the like head bashing scene, I love how the mom just let the daughter watch that happen.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Did they forget special effects? Because she sprays James McAvoy with like flesh-eating chemicals, and then it cuts to him washing himself, and his face is fine. Like nothing. It didn't impact him at all. Just like
Yeah.
stung, I guess. They didn't even add some redness. It was just
Yeah, at the very least, they could have added some red
a
makeup.
couple like boils or something. At least show
Yeah.
that something's happening.
Well, I mean, to be fair, his face was absolutely fucking demolished 2 minutes later.
That's true. Which tells me they had the special effects to do it, and they chose not to.
Yeah, they certainly had the budget.
They did.
They had a pretty big budget. Which is fucking crazy. How do you convince a huge ass company like Blumhouse, oh, I'm going to make this movie that was already made 2 years ago, and it's
Yeah.
going to be the exact same until the last act, and the last act is going to be worse. Give me $15 million, which is 5 times as much as the original took to make.
Because it's Blumhouse, and they love doing that shit. They're like, a movie with a bad ending? Sign me up. Are you
my
joking?
God. I hate them. Blumhouse, get
You
it
know what makes
together.
me the most mad about it?
What?
Is that in the original, they had an alternative ending. Why didn't they just use that? The original was supposed to end with basically like showing a bunch of people getting executed in different ways. So basically like this entire town is in on it. And they're all just like killing the people that they brought, right? In different ways. That would have made so much more sense, right? Because they even imply that a little bit with the babysitter. They're like, yeah, the whole town loves him, not just because he's cheap. So if he's the one working for them, it makes sense that there's other people who are doing this as well, and they're all just kind of in on it. And that's why they had the whole restaurant to themselves, and like everybody's just in on it, right?
Yeah.
If they would have done that, I would have been fine. That would have been a fine change to the ending. Not just a shot-for-shot remake. You want to do something different, do that.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Why?
Yeah, for context, they didn't. The only reason they didn't film that was because he would have had to work with so many extras,
Yeah.
and there would have had to have been a lot more sets. And
Yeah. Well, and also like the original had to stop filming multiple times due to COVID. So I'm sure adding more people just adds to that and the risks that just weren't necessary to take.
the remake also had to stop production because of the strikes.
Yep.
Like, just take the fucking hint that this movie was not supposed to.
The universe was like, let's stop.
Yeah, let's think about this again.
let's take a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like James McAvoy said that he purposely didn't watch the original because he didn't want to be influenced by it. Which I feel like you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like he hadn't watched it. The girl, what's her name? Aileen Franciosi? I don't know how to say her last name. I'm so sorry. But the girl who played Kiara, it felt like she had watched it. Because she did a lot of the same mannerisms as the girl in the original. But yeah, he said he watched it in like the first 24 hours after filming stopped, and he was very impressed. He liked it. I wonder if he felt like, oh, what did we do?
I don't know how you wouldn't.
I would have been so sad.
Yeah. The other thing that James McAvoy said was that he modeled the toxic masculinity of the character after Andrew Tate.
Which is why we hated him from the start.
Yep. That guy's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
That alone, just that both of those, like that Andrew Tate and Mr. Tumnus in this movie can both instill the same like anger.
Yeah.
He deserves an award.
James McAvoy.
Sure as fuck not Andrew Tate.
Just wanted to be clear. Andrew Tate deserves prison, and James McAvoy deserves an award.
Yes.
I'll be honest, like, James McAvoy is not my issue with this movie. He popped his pussy. If you want to watch James McAvoy pop his pussy, go for it. But my thing is that James McAvoy pops his pussy in every movie that he's in. So I don't need this. This gave me nothing. Nothing new. This added nothing to my life. Except for anger and frustration. Maybe it was kind of like the original. Wait. We're on to something.
She's getting it.
The first one, you're so angry and frustrated that these people didn't do anything. And then the remake, you're so angry and frustrated that Blumhouse did that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I feel the same way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like I said,
You're probably
I
like,
watched...
original, 2 stars, remake, 5 out of 5.
Wrong.
I'm just joking.
No, the remake was fine as a standalone film. It was fine.
I still feel like even if I try to separate it, which it is very hard for me to do, but if I try to separate it, I'm still like, yeah, it's fine, but like,
it's not bad.
it was predictable. It wasn't like, it didn't give me anything that I haven't seen before. Like, it was just like, it's fine.
It was still fun to watch.
That's fine.
I so wish you had watched it in the same order as I had, which again, to remind everybody, is the first half of the first movie, then the second movie, and then immediately after that, the first movie. The whole thing.
I think you could have just watched the remake and then the original. I don't think you need to watch the first part of the first movie and then watch the...
Well, I think it made a difference.
That feels redundant.
Well, I think it made a difference though, because I was expecting this, like, oh my god, I have to like get to know these characters again, and I have to figure out like what's gonna
See,
happen.
I didn't feel that watching the original though. Like the first time I watched it, I was pretty enthralled the whole way through.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like a slow burn. And I like the fact that it was just like increasing tension.
Yeah.
Just like building and building and building.
Well, yeah, but that's not until the last third of the movie. I liked that.
I feel like even at the start, like once they are going to the house, it's very much like they immediately offer her meat and you're like, oh, like, okay. And then, you know, they have these bad conditions of living and like all this stuff that it's like, I still feel like it was building just slowly and then more so.
Yeah, maybe I'm just the person that would like fall for all this because it didn't start bothering me until kind of later on.
Speaking of the writer and director of the original, Christian Tafdrup, he said that he got the idea based on his own experience. Calm down, not like that. But when he was on holiday in Tuscany, his family met another couple from the Netherlands who were like kind of socially awkward and like, you know, a little off. And they got on really well. They spent the vacation together. And then the couple invited them to their home afterwards. Mm-hmm. And he was like, nah, no, I'm not going to go. Like he considered it. And then he was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go. He never met them again. But he just couldn't stop thinking about like, man, what's the worst case scenario of if I had gone? And that's kind of how the idea happened. But he did clarify. He's like, I'm sure that they were very nice people. This is completely fiction. But yeah. Yeah.
Cute.
I think weirdly, when I was reading reviews and stuff for mainly the original, but I guess also people comparing the original to the remake, and a lot of people who liked the remake better talking about why they didn't like the original was because like it's so frustrating. Like, why don't they fight back? Why, like, no parent's gonna act like that and all of this. And it kind of reminded me weirdly of Barbarian, because they were both kind of satires, like extreme exaggerations of what happens when you don't listen to your gut instinct, right? Like Barbarian is when women ignore their gut instincts, they're red flags when they are talking to men, like specifically, like that's where that idea came from. It's just an exaggeration of that, like a complete satire of what if it went as far as it could go.
Mhm.
And that was the point. So like when people were getting frustrated at Barbarian, I was like, no, this is the point. We're supposed to be frustrated because it's supposed to be like the extreme of that. And the same with the original is like, yeah, you're frustrated because you think like no one's going to act like that, but this is the exaggeration of politeness to a fault,
Yeah.
of being so accommodating, which Taftrup said it's kind of about Danish culture, and that's a thing there where like a lot of the times people are just overly accommodating and overly polite to the point where they're uncomfortable. But I think even like as a woman, I feel like that's kind of relatable. I feel like we're told a lot that we need to make ourselves smaller and we need to be accommodating. We don't make a scene because, you know, that's not allowed. And so I feel like that was kind of not fun to watch because that movie's not fun to watch, but like
Yeah.
an interesting portrayal of that satire, I guess.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, tone-wise, very different films, but both taking kind of that gut instinct and ignoring it to the extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't mention that the Dutch couple from the original are married in real life.
They are. Apparently, it was really hard to find the Dutch couple, too. It was like really challenging to find actors who were okay with the source material.
Oh, well, that's
Like a lot of people were like, can you change the ending? Like, I don't want to take it. I'm not comfortable with like the idea of child abuse, like all of this stuff. And even the couple that ended up getting the role, at first they were kind of hesitant. And then they had a meeting with Taftrup and kind of were eased a little bit into the idea of it.
Heesh. They did a good job,
Yeah, they did.
all things considered.
Yeah.
Well, any other fun facts?
No.
Oh, can I just say,
Yes.
on IMDb, one of the fun facts for the 2024, like under trivia or whatever, the ending is different from the original film.
I saw that too.
That was really funny. Like, wow, you are so right. That's the truest fun fact I've ever read.
That is not even a fun fact for me.
It is a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
They did do that, yeah.
All right, well, let's rate it, yeah?
Okay.
Rate them. I this time did them separately.
Oh, do we not always?
Well, Jacob's Ladder, I didn't bother. I just gave the new one ones across the board.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember. What should we start with?
Why switch up now? Oh, I thought you meant like scary, sexy. I was like, obviously we're starting with scary.
Which movie should we start with?
Let's start with the remake. I feel like
Okay.
we always start with the remake.
Do we?
I feel like, yeah, in the past we have.
Well, we did last time because I didn't want to talk about it.
That's true.
Okay, we'll start with the remake.
Okay.
How scary did you think it was?
1.
Okay.
I was not scared at all. It's every horror trope I've seen in every other horror movie.
Yep.
How about you?
Well, I gave it a 2.
Great. What scared you?
Nothing. I don't. Let me explain.
Incredible. Okay.
I don't think scary is the right word, but I had to give it a point somewhere
Mhm.
for that like terrible burning sensation that you get in the pit of your stomach while you're watching this movie. That like, just like hatred of Mr. Tumnus's character. Like just,
Didn't feel that in the remake.
oh, I did.
I had a terrible feeling in the pit of my stomach, but it's because I knew what they were gonna do. And therefore it made me like not scared of him because I knew what was gonna happen. I knew that they were gonna kill him in the end.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It reminded me of everything and everyone I've ever hated. And just like that
Oh.
same feeling. You know how in therapy when they're like, what physical feeling do you feel when you're upset or when you're angry or whatever?
It's that.
Yeah, it's that feeling. So yeah, it wasn't really scary, but I don't know. I just had
But
to
it
give 2 points for
impacted
something.
you.
Yeah, I felt
Okay.
something. So I gave it a 2.
Cool. How sexy did you think it was?
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
for Mr. Tumnus. My sexual fantasy awakening. My fantasy sexual awakening.
It was Mr. Tumnus?
Oh yeah. As far as like
Oh.
fantasy characters go, absolutely it was Mr. Tumnus.
Okay.
Very
That-
formative.
Great.
How about you?
I'm happy for you. I give it a 1.5.
Okay.
Also for James McAvoy. Not because I was picturing Mr. Tumnus, but just, who doesn't love James McAvoy?
Yeah, I was imagining a fawn wearing human legs the whole time.
Yikes.
Yeah. Anyway, how fucked up did you think it was?
A 1 out of 5.
Okay.
Again, it wasn't anything I haven't seen before.
Not even for like the head smashing scene.
I guess it didn't bother me. I was just kind of rooting for the kid. Yeah. What about you?
I also gave it a 1 out of 5. But unfairly, it's because I'm comparing it to the original. Because this one really just kind of...
We're not allowed to do that. That's you. That's what you sound like.
I know. But it just took all the fucked up shit from the original and was like, nope. I'm not doing
You
that.
splashed water on it. Said, nope, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, what did you think of the remake?
Okay. This is a really accessible horror movie. And as I said, if you rate these independently of each other,
Mm-hmm.
which I understand is hard to do given they're identical for 140 out of 145 minutes, this is not a bad movie. The acting is there for the most part. The story is interesting. It kind of keeps you guessing without there being like a slog like the original had. Not to say that that's bad, but again, I explained myself already that the other one was too slow of a burn. I don't know. That said, it was not in the end, like literally during the end, as fun as the first one. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
You thought the first one was fun?
Oh, I thought the first one was a blast.
I thought you couldn't even get through it.
I couldn't. I could not. I see. So here's the thing: is I wrote my ratings assuming that we would be talking about the original first, so I could see where you're confused.
Yeah.
But that's just not the way we did it. So you're just gonna have to wonder until we get there.
Okay.
have to
Well,
say
I
about
know
the
you thought
movie.
it was fun.
I
A
did think it was fun.
blast.
It was a blasty blast.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What
Great.
did you give overall the 2024 version of Speaking of Evil?
I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Which I think is generous for how much I've been shitting on it this whole time.
Okay. I think it's about in line.
Thank you. I just think, why? There's no point for this movie to exist. And James McAvoy, it isn't enough to save it for me. I'm sorry. You have to give me something. This movie gave me nothing that I haven't seen before. And you know what? I think Christian Taftrup said it best when he ripped this movie apart in an article that we'll link in the description. But he said, well, let me find it. He said, when I saw the film yesterday, I could see why they could never succeed with a film where characters are stoned to death, as they do in our film. These people must fight for their life to defeat the bad guys. It's a kind of happy ending. It's so deep in their culture that America must be able to handle it all. He's shitting on America as people. We have to do better. Make America like traumatized movies again.
Did we ever?
No, but can we start?
Yeah, really. All the fucked up shit we've ever seen is foreign,
Except for The Mist.
except for The Mist. But that's not really fucked up. That's just drama. That's just bleak.
That's fucked up.
It's bleak. It's not fucked up.
That's true, but it is a movie where it's like America just needs a hero's ending, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Why? He also said he witnessed audiences leaving the remake who were completely overenthusiastic and clapped, laughed, and whooped. It was like being at a rock concert. Well, he recalled how people left my film traumatized. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Anyways, 2 out of 5. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I was angry.
Yeah. Yep. I saw that one coming.
Should we talk about the original?
Yep.
Okay.
How scary did you think it was?
I gave it a 1.5
Okay.
because I do think this movie has moments of tension where my first watch through, I was definitely like, what's going to happen? What is this couple going to do to them? Nothing could have prepared me for what they did to them, but I had a fun time being creeped out wondering.
Yeah.
What about you?
I gave it a 2. Definitely more unsettling than it was scary.
Yeah.
I also, just like weird side comment, I think that they tried to use music in a really weird way to influence the vibe.
I was gonna tell you, if there's one thing that I like the remake better, it was the music. I did not like the music in the first one. It was very jarring the whole way through.
Yeah, it was almost overdone.
Yeah, it was that same like thing that they kept playing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was just
And
like
it's like they'd just be driving and it would happen, and I'm like, that's too loud and weird for what's happening right now.
yeah, it was just like they were trying to like bridge the gap between scenes weirdly. Yeah, it was very strange. And then there was no music everywhere else.
Yeah. Which I didn't
Very
mind
strange.
the moments of silence.
No, not
It
at all.
just didn't work well with the music that they did for the big moments.
Correct.
Not even big moments, big musical moments, but
Yeah. Very strange.
yeah, I will agree with you there.
And it could have been effective in another movie or in different parts of the movie,
Yeah,
but it was just very strange editing.
agreed.
Yeah.
How sexy did you think the original was?
A 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was no James McAvoy.
Yeah.
So nothing about this version did it for me. You?
I also gave it a 1. And no, like, hate to the main cast. Like, they're not bad-looking people.
Mm-mm.
It's just this was one of the rare moments where the tone of the film overpowered any, like, sexual attraction that you might feel. It was
Correct.
like... I was too anxious to be feeling sexy.
Yeah. How fucked up did you think it was?
I gave it a 2.5.
Excellent answer.
This movie's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Watching your kid's tongue get cut out of her mouth in front of you is pretty fucked up.
So fucked up.
Being stoned to death, that's pretty fucked up.
This is our first stoning.
This is it might be our only one. I can't think of another movie where people get stoned to death.
Yikes.
Maybe if an adaptation of The Lottery exists, then we could find that.
Oh, the book.
No? Too obscure?
The book?
The short story, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, where they like win the lottery
And
and they
what
just
the
get
lottery?
stoned.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a population control type of thing. Or maybe it's like a sacrifice thing. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've read it.
Oh my god, that sounds like
You should read it.
That sounds like the Asian countries that have a lottery for joining the military.
That's a draft.
You're right. That is called that.
That's, yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
that's
it's by
what they
Shirley
should-
Jackson. You should read it. Short
Who?
story. Shirley Jackson?
Oh, I know her.
Mm-hmm. She did The Haunting of Hill House.
That's right. I knew her.
Yeah.
From a Flaniverse show.
But yeah, if you love stoning, read The Lottery. I kind of just gave it away, but sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for The Lottery. Written in 1948.
Oh my god.
Spoiler.
It's your fault if you haven't read it 100 years later.
That's honestly so true.
I didn't know that Shirley Jackson was from the 40s. I thought she was more recent.
No, Haunting of Hill House was written in 1959.
Wow.
It's old. Yeah,
Who knew?
me.
Okay. I gave it a 2.5 also.
Great. Look at us being in line.
With one
In
thing.
line.
In line on one thing. It was way more fucked up than the original, that's for fucking sure. I agree with you. Cutting a kid's tongue out on
For
camera.
the remake?
What did I say?
Original?
Yeah, the remake. Cutting a kid's tongue out on camera is fucking insane. Dead kid in the pool, not ideal. First stoning, awful. I did not like the visuals associated with stoning and the sound.
The sounds and the like slow-mo almost of it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blech. And just like the fact that this is not a happy ending. Like, this is the most unhappy ending we've seen. Like, I almost wish my kid would have been dead, like in The Mist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just woof.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.5.
That's fair. Overall, what did you think of the original? Don't piss me off, Kate.
I really won't.
Just kidding.
I liked it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you told me you need to finish it. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking finish it. I wish I had just finished it.
Yeah.
My complaint about this movie is obviously not surprising, because I tried watching it once already. But like, I just got bored at the beginning. Like, nothing happens in the first 2 acts. It was just such a slog. And while that was definitely more effective in the long run for me, like it just didn't like grab me, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I made the movie really slow. The third act made up for that so much. We got a lot of shit that we don't see in horror movies a lot. Like fucking up with kids, kids dying, kids getting their tongue, like the kids stuff.
Yeah.
The stoning, holy shit. All that was crammed in like 5 minutes. It was kind of fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it more than the remake. I gave it a 3.5.
Okay. Not as big of a disparity as I would have liked, but
again, if you rate them independently of each other,
I really feel like I am.
I don't think you are.
I still don't think that the remake like did anything new or cool or exciting. And it was so predictable. I don't know. I like James McAvoy in it. That was kind of it.
What'd you give this one?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I like a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I like, I mean, we've talked about it before, but I'm not as big of a fan of paranormal as I am of, like, real life situations. Like, this is creepy because this could happen. It's so fucked up. And I love a movie that pushes boundaries. I love that we get to see a stoning. That's crazy. When do we get to see that? We just said that. If you kill people in a new way in a horror movie at this point, it's kind of like, all right, now we're cooking with gas. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think the original is just so bleak and, like he said, traumatizing and interesting and new. And I get that it's frustrating for people, but that's kind of what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in every other horror movie, you're like, no, don't do that, stop. And then they do eventually. And you get to stop yelling at them. But in this one, you don't. They always do the thing that you don't want them to do. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's original. I think it's well done, well acted. Big fan.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I didn't rate it as high as you because I couldn't get through it the first time. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And to be clear, I do like a slow burn. I just didn't feel like this was, for me, an effective slow burn. There just wasn't enough happening to make me like, okay, I gotta keep going. You know what I mean?
I guess I did have the knowledge at the time that like horror fans were really excited about the movie. So I did have that going into the original where I was like, I gotta see what's up. Like, I gotta see why people are so, like, so many people I saw were like, great movie, never want to watch it again. And that's always interesting, It's always like, why? What happened?
Yeah.
I had a reason to keep going. But I don't know. I also kind of felt like the slow burn was pretty effective. But we talked about that.
Yeah.
All right. Would you survive?
No.
Speak no evil. Oh, okay.
No. Well, okay,
No.
wait. No.
Great.
Actually,
Backtracking?
No, I would not survive.
No, she wouldn't.
Yeah, sorry. I have met people on vacations that I have known for less time than these people knew the couple and the son, and I would absolutely go to their house and stay with them Absolutely.
Oh.
Especially, I think I've talked about them before, the Australians that I have met. The nicest people in the universe. I would absolutely go and visit them. If they extended the offer, if they're like, hey, you're pretty cool. First of all, I would be so flattered. Second of all, I'm not turning down a free stay in Australia. You know what I mean?
Who would? No, but go on.
Well, I mean, that's it. So I go and then I die.
Okay.
Well, okay. So, okay, I'm backtracking again.
Great.
I also, so there were some choices that the mother made that I would not have made. I mean, there were some choices that she
Okay.
made that I would have also made and then committed to. Like
Got
finding
it.
the daughter in their bed. I'm out.
Yeah.
Nothing's making me go back.
Okay, so then you live.
I guess I do. I don't feel like I should be living through this one.
Up to you.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you live?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not that polite. I'm not going to someone's house who I've met once. You're crazy for that. What are you talking about?
I went to my husband's
No.
house after meeting him for a few hours.
Well, you know. I don't even do that, so. Public place. Good lighting. Other people around. There's one thing about me, it's that I'm not getting murdered, man.
Yeah. I think
That's going to be my famous last words. They're going to play this on a documentary one day.
Oh, can't wait. I can't fucking wait. I'll give it to them. Hey,
Morgan
you need some
Freeman,
extra
she
material?
did, in fact, get murdered.
No, I'll counter with if there's one thing about me, it's that you're not fucking with my kid.
Yeah, see,
So I
that's
think
fair.
the second my kid gets fucked with, I'm out. And
Yeah.
honestly, so are you.
See, there you go. So you live.
I live. Yeah, I live.
I think, yeah, if you hadn't left sooner, if they were naked in bed with your kid, you would be gone.
Totally.
And I don't think you're going back for your kid's stuffed toy.
No, that would
You
be
or
really
your
sad.
husband. I think you both are like,
Yeah.
we'll buy you 8 new toys, but we're not fucking going back there.
Yeah. We've tried so hard. She has a toy like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've tried so hard to find like a replacement on like eBay and stuff, just to have one, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get the panic of like not being able to replace it, but
Yeah.
dude, tough shit. Sorry, kid.
Yeah, sometimes being a parent is being like, yeah, my kid's gonna hate me right now, but in the long run, they're gonna be thanking me.
Yeah.
And that's one of those moments.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I live.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to predict next week? Nope, I'll get there. Do you want to predict next week's movie?
Yes,
Do you know what it is?
I do.
Hit me.
It's Nope.
It is Nope. What happens in Nope?
Nope is a movie starring Keke Palmer
Mm-hmm.
and the hot Asian guy from Walking Dead.
Great.
Kiki's character is a college student
Mm-hmm.
who travels to a Western inflatable man factory
Yes.
where, you know, these men?
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men.
Yes. Where they make the sock men and they inflate or whatever. /
Yeah.
carnival.
Great.
I'm not really sure which. To visit
Mhm.
her family and the hot guy from Walking Dead who plays the manager that's like kind of like deep south managery like cowboy guy
Yeah.
of the inflatable man factory.
Mm-hmm.
And the man factory is also on a ranch.
The man factory is on a ranch.
Yep, with horses.
Mm-hmm.
And the horses are being abducted by clouds.
Oh. Damn.
And every time it happens, the people on the inflatable man ranch are like, nope,
Yeah.
we're going to pretend like that didn't just happen.
Great.
Well, sorry, but yep, it was happening. And then it starts to happen to all the people on the ranch. They get abducted by the clouds.
Mhm.
And then you come to find out that the whole time, the clouds were being controlled by a chimpanzee.
Yes.
I knew it.
That is an incredible plot put together by someone who's seen stills and things from the film.
Yeah.
Because you have all the elements.
The tube man.
Just not in the right way.
The chimpanzees.
You're so close.
Ugh. I've-
Chimpanzee. Kiki Palmer and Steven Yeun are both in it, but it stars someone else.
Oh, the guy from the other.
Get Out. Daniel
Yeah.
Kaluuya. Yes.
I knew he was in it too. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
really like
rest,
Steven
I'll let you watch so that the full impact of the chimps controlling the cloud hits you
Yeah,
as it was meant to.
I'm really interested to see how the chimpanzee is part of this.
Yeah.
Is it just a carnival thing? He's just part of the carnival? Is there a carnival?
You'll see.
Sorry. Okay, well,
I'm not going to tell you because I think that that's a fun discussion that we can have.
I hope more than anything that he has something to do with the aliens, the clouds, the UFOs.
That he's in cahoots.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I hope so too, Katie. I
That
really
wouldn't
do.
even be the first evil chimpanzee movie we've watched in the last month.
Oh, Follow the House of Mushrooms?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? That's true.
Well, I'm looking forward to
Um,
it. This is the last of the available Jordan Peele movies.
Yes. You will have seen them all after this.
Good. I'm excited.
Me too.
Well, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see you then. We're going to be talking about evil chimps controlling the sky. And feel free to like and subscribe.
Please.
And
That's it.
That's it. That's it for
That's
now.
all.
That's all.
Bye.
Bye.